Western Cape Premier Helen Zille opened a multi-million rand state-of-the-art community daycare centre in District 6 this morning, and we go live to the proceedings.
Health, primarily, our two biggest budget items, is here. It's a little bit like having the dessert before the main meal, because we were hoping that the whole of District 6 would be reconstructed and built by the time we delivered this clinic. But who says you can't have pudding first? And maybe the fact that this fantastic facility is here will act as a catalyst for the rest. Since I was the mayor of Cape Town many lives ago, in which we were battling to bring communities together, to get people to agree, to get alignment between national, provincial and local government, to get all the Rubik's Cube bits aligned to have the right colours in the right places. It has been an unbelievable mission. And often in these particular instances, the community conflict is what makes it the most difficult. It really is. And the irony about South Africa, when I look back, is that when the money was there, we were all fighting too much to actually use it for the purposes for which it was intended. Now that we've sorted out the problems, the money isn't there because the country's in a massive financial crisis. So only half the money that should have been allocated for the redevelopment of District 6 from the national government is coming. And we need the other half. We can't have the looting of the state and what we've seen actually jeopardize these critical programs of rebirth and regeneration, and turning shame into a symbol of hope and regeneration. So we're going to fight very hard for the rest of that money to come through. But we are going to do our bit, and this is part of that bit. Tragically, the construction company that was supposed to be recreating the phase that we are currently in has been fired by the national government for shoddy workmanship, for huge delays. And so because of the procurement process, you can either go out on a limited bid. I'm sure Mr. Faniko can give you a good presentation that will take 40 minutes on how this works. But you can either go on a limited bid and start again next April, or you can go out on a full procurement thing if you want to get a clean audit and start next November. That is how these things work, and that is why there are delays. We've got to stop community conflict. We've got to choose the right contractors to do our processes without corruption and to do it on time and in budget. And we've got to ensure that we stop corruption in the state so that the money can go to where it's supposed to be. Now, we're in a little spot in the province, and that's what we try to do here. And we do it with every one of you. Every nurse, every doctor, every floor cleaner is critical to that mission. And Dr. Noma French leads that. Dr. Klutte is the acting head of the department at the moment. We think of Dr. Beth Engelbrecht, who is normally there. She's on leave at the moment. She's allowed to be. But health pulls together as a team like no other. And that is why I'm also happy to give you the biggest budget. Although I've never heard Dr. Noma French ending a speech when I've been in the audience without thanking me for doubling the budget. That always happens. So this is an extraordinary, extraordinary day. And when you look at this building, remember that it's also a green building. The design allows the natural ventilation and lighting. There is rainwater harvesting that is going to be used to flush the toilets and a whole range of other things. And there's energy-saving bulbs. I need you to tell me how these energy-saving bulbs give so much light. It's probably not the bulbs, it's the natural light from outside. Because in Leeuwenhof, which was built more than 300 years ago or 200 years ago, we've got LED lights, but you have to wear a miner's light on your forehead to see what you're doing. So that's how you walk around here. It's nothing like this, I can tell you, but it's absolutely beautiful to see that. This 104 million rand facility combines the Woodstock and Robbie Nurok Community Day Centres to create one fantastic CDC for the entire community. And we need to use this as a catalyst to get the rest of the District 6 redevelopment going. If there's one thing that I really wanted to have been finished by the time I bow out next year after my second term as Premier, it was to see a flourishing District 6 recreated. Well, you know, this has been a long labor, if I can extend the metaphor, a very long labor. And unfortunately with this, we can't do a cesarean. We can't do a cesarean. I was thinking of asking you to do one of those 13-minute jobs, but it is incredibly, incredibly challenging. So my speechwriters found a beautiful quote for me that I want to end with, because they always find some lovely things for me to put in my speeches. Thank you very much. In conclusion, I would like to quote District 6 writer Alex Laguma, who once poetically said, "Hanover Street runs through the heart of District 6, and along it one can feel the pulse beats of society. It is the main artery of the local world of haves and have-nots, the prosperous and the poor, the struggling and the idle, the weak and the strong." And there you have another medical metaphor, the heartbeat and the pulse of our society. So while we are here giving birth, remember that that heart has to beat with a life and a rhythm of South Africa, and that heart beats and creates the pulse for the recreation of a community which is inclusive, vibrant, and on the fringe of a growing economy that will empower every individual to have a purpose and have a future in this great country. Thank you very much.